Hello people of YouTube, it's Deepak here, and welcome to the DCS news stream for the 27th of August 2022. I hope you enjoyed that little jaunt in the Mirage F-15I. I hope you won't judge my poor handling of the aircraft too much. It was a good bit of fun, nice little flight, really nicely modelled aircraft. I'm looking forward to what's going to happen with this one as they patch it and add more functionality. But the flight model is fantastic, and the external and internal models are really nice. At some point a little bit later in early access, I will do a tutorial series on this aircraft, because I had a lot of fun flying it. Welcome to the stream, Tog. Welcome, Patrick. Welcome, Tiger Moto. Yeah, there may or may not be a broken Mirage on the runway. It's not broken. The main gear's quite sturdy on that thing. It can take it. Cool. But anyway, without any further ado, let me pull on board the one and only dotChuckles.
Hello! It's Saturday. Hurrah!
Yes, it's Saturday. Welcome. Welcome, sir. It's good to have you aboard again.
I have my sugar-free Rockstar caffeine bomb.
Caffeine bomb.
As the Wild Hearts once sang.
I'm going to have some water.
It has been it's been needed, actually. Today has been a bit hot. And,
yes,
a bit stuffy up in Chuckles Towers, so I was quite having the thirst on. But it is indeed Saturday, time for another news.
Woo!
And what news do we have?
It's another Saturday, so another new map, because that seems to be the theme over the last couple of weeks.
And it's funny, I'm just spotting some comments in chat, and it's like, yeah, they know what's coming. They know what's coming.
We know what's coming. let me quickly say hello to everybody. So welcome to the stream, Pink Floyd, David Flute, Patrick, Chris Deacon. Who else have we got here? Leo, welcome. James Rubo. Oh, thank you very much. He's starting to love these videos.
What a nice guy. Thank you very much. Love to hear.
Yes. Welcome, Dancer. Welcome, Tog. The ghost of Vaff returns yet again. Clint S., welcome. Oh, okay. Yep. And welcome, Milan. Good evening. So, yes.
Turbo Shandy time.
So, I wonder, shall I simply start with the newsletter? I'll read it as is, and then we'll begin comment.
Yeah. We'll just wait. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Let's just crack on. Yeah,
okay, that's fine.
Let's crack on.
I'll do the thing then. So let me just bring up the Eagle Dynamics newsletter here. And,
sure.
Dear fighter pilots, partners, and friends, we're excited to announce the DCS Top End Australia map. Top name. By third-party developer Check 6 Simulations. This unique map will cover large swaths, yes, of northern and western Australia. It promises to be exceptionally beautiful and exotic. DCS Open Beta version 2.7.17.29140. Write that down, everyone. Is now available for download. This update includes numerous additional additions and fixes to the DCS Mi-24P Hind, the DCS F-16C Viper, DCS AH-64D, DCS Mirage F1, and more. We've also improved...
and that update to the Viper, what an update. That was big.
They're actually, we'll look at it a little bit further down, but they're really, they're closing in on the roadmap. Like, there's not that much left for them to deliver on the Viper roadmap. And in fact, if you like, I'll even pull it up and we can take a look at that. But we'll do that a little bit later.
We'll do it when we get to that, yeah.
If you are interested in getting more involved in DCS multiplayer, we recommend you to check out the Enigma server. It provides fun, competitive, and balanced multiplayer campaigns around a Cold War setting, perfect for the F1. Thank you for your valuable feedback. We are dedicated to the very best for our community. So,
do you know that was quite surprising? Like, it's not often that you hear them mentioning multiplayer.
That's true. Yeah,
it's unusual. Yeah.
This is a thing they've been doing
nice
because they're doing a call out for different Discord and multiplayer servers now on. I don't think they're doing it on every newsletter, but they said they're going to try to do it more.
And it's good that they do it because as we have often discussed and kind of bemoaned, is that multiplayer is the best way to experience DCS but it's the smallest percentage.
The experience is incredible. Like, you play a good multiplayer server with good people and good scenario, and like SRS with immersive communications. You're not going to get anything near to that in single player, in my opinion. I think it's way better.
Yeah.
Welcome to the stream, Paul Dillon. Okay,
The chat is already kicking off about this.
We'll handle those in just a minute. So, introduction to DCS Top End Australia. The Top End Australia map covers 1,400 by 800 kilometres of Australia's mainland, including the Western and Northern Territories. With a mixture of civilian and military airfields, aviators will experience a map that includes a rich red outback landscape, complemented by the lakes and rivers, floodplains, coastline, and city centre of Darwin. Infrastructure for major landmarks have been carefully detailed to provide the highest fidelity, and includes Mindle Beach, Darwin, Broome, Tyndall, Curtin, and the Delamere Weapons Range. That's probably an important thing to note. The Top End Australia map will give DCS players a unique experience to hone their skills across air, land, sea domains, allowing simulations of real-world exercises such as pitch black. Check out the development screenshots and stay tuned for future news as we look towards a report on their progress soon. So let's follow the instructions here. So this, I guess, is the entire map. It doesn't look all that big, but you have to realise that Australia is absolutely gigantic.
That's big. That's a big map.
That is a lot of shit. So yes, we've got this map. We've got some, I'm guessing these are fairly early renders of what the terrain is going to look like. I like the sea colour. Like, I like it when the maps have got accurate sea colours for the region they're depicting. That's pretty cool, because Marianas had that. Yeah, look, sea colouring here is very nice, I think.
Yeah.
So, dotChuckles, tell us all about it. What do you think of this?
Why? Why? Why?
But it's purdy.
This is a pointless waste of electrons. It is stupid. I hate everything about it. It is dumb. It should not be a thing. It's just stupid. Stupid map.
We should quickly note that this is not the work of Eagle Dynamics. This is a third-party developer called Check 6. So they've chosen to make this map. Nobody told them to.
Yep. And I should also make it clear, this is nothing against Australia at all. I love Australia, and
Australians.
I enjoy, and Australians, and I enjoy very much flying particularly in the Australian outback in Microsoft Flight Sim. It's just, why the fuck is this in DCS? Like, I saw like the little announcement of new map. And like my brain went, "Oh my god, amazing! Does that mean we're getting Afghanistan, or
Vietnam.
Iraq, or Vietnam, or Korea, or the Taiwan Straits, or Northern Germany, or like the 1989 Warsaw Frontier? Oh, maybe it's Libya. Maybe we're gonna get maybe we're gonna get the Libyan line of death scenarios, or maybe it's the Baltics or the Balkans or anywhere fucking useful. No." Northern Territories. What the fuck? Like, why?
Bread in chat asking the important question: are emus modelled?
I mean, it's why do they not like money? Like.
Maybe not.
Does he just not like money? Like, they could have picked any of these places, and people are saying that, it's easy to model. Have you seen Iraq?
Yeah.
It's fucking flat. It's flat. There's nothing there. It's miles and miles of fuck all.
True. Actually, if anything, Iran might be easier to model than this.
But they've got Iran. It's just.
We don't have all of Iran.
Like, why? It's fucking stupid.
Yes.
Like, there are so many places that would be more useful and are needed. Like, we could, Afghanistan, Korea, Vietnam. There's fucking 3 straight off the back. Iraq, there's one that would be fucking easy to do. You get the paintbrush, you paint it, you set it to yellow and fucking scribble on the map. And it's fucking done.
Yes, that's true.
Like, are you fucking crazy? Like, and okay, fine, right? Like, one of our members very sensibly pointed out that I wonder if it's to do with the Delmere range, and this is something that they've developed for the RAF, and that it's going to be a training tool and all that. Yeah. Fucking brilliant. So now they're making a pickup buck off the ED community because, right, we've got this thing that we've made for the military. It's fucking useless for everything else. Let's fucking flog it for full price to the community because those bunch of simps will buy anything. Fuck's sake.
Well, you know.
Boom, demonetized.
To add a little bit of balance to the discussion, I'm not entirely sure how to add some balance to this because I have to admit I'm mostly of the same opinion because it's cool, but we can fly over terrain like this in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Strategically and tactically, there's not really anything to do here. Someone said that actually it's kind of effectively a second NTTR, and I think that's true. Yeah. I think that's really what we're getting here.
But do we need that?
Perhaps not.
Like, do we need that? Do we need another NTTR? Like, do we need another training area? Like, no, we don't.
Yes.
I mean, like, fine, okay, the outrage, I'm amping it up a bit for yucks, for your entertainment, but, like, it's not far off the reality. Like, this actively pisses me off.
Yeah.
Like, and it feels very typical of the state of DCS in recent years, that...
Like a lack of focus.
Lack of direction, dumb decisions... And it just like
again, this is not Eagle Dynamics.
This feels like a an end game of that.
Yeah, we need to make it very clear that this is not Eagle Dynamics who are making this.
No, exactly. But like, there feels like the decisions that are being made by third parties, are being done in silos in really weird ways. We're ending up with just a lot of odd stuff. And the problem is, and I think why this is happening and where I get a bit annoyed, and I'm going to hold my hand up here and say, do you know what? I'm just as guilty of this, is that the DCS marketplace is not a fair marketplace because we are all total simps, and anything with the DCS logo on it, we'll buy it whether it's a crock of shit or not. And this is a crock of shit and people shouldn't buy it. But the thing is we will, because it's DCS and there's no competition.
And we want to support Eagle Dynamics, we want to support the ecosystem.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what happens is that things aren't allowed to fail, and we end up with this. And it's like...
Yeah,
like, guys, what are you playing at? I mean, and again, I just want to reiterate. Yeah, this is a third party. Third parties are allowed to make whatever the hell they want. People are allowed to do whatever they want. I'm not saying that like, oh, they shouldn't make it. Well, maybe I am saying that.
Well, you kind of are.
Yeah. But I mean, it just feels like this is a symptom of a real kind of broken marketplace. It's weird. Like, I don't understand it, and it won't fail because people will buy it because it's got DCS in it, and I feel like it's like people will go for the easy route.
And I know that I've absolutely done this myself. Like I have bought modules that I have no intention of flying simply because I wanted to support that particular module maker.
Yeah,
but usually that would be because they've also made other things that I really liked. So I am happy to give money to creators who are contributing to the ecosystem that I spend so much time in.
But there's the thing is should we be doing that? Should we? Like this? Oh, you've got to support. You've got to support the. Well, actually, no, you don't.
I wouldn't tell anyone else to do it. It's a decision I've made for myself.
Yeah. But like, I want, because the thing is like, if there was a proper market forces in DCS, we would have probably had Iraq, Afghanistan, Vietnam, whatever by now.
Yeah.
Like these would be things that we would be using, but there isn't proper market forces because ah. Hang on, I need to find a cloud to go and shout at outside. It's just stupid. It's just stupid. And don't get me wrong, there's going to be talented people involved in this, and that's brilliant. And they're going to do their things. And if they're doing this for a reason that is, is it a tech demonstrator? Is it a this? Is it a that? Then they need to say. They need to say, this is why we've decided to produce this map. This is why we've decided to, because it makes like no military sense. Like
that's a good point, actually, because at some point there will be a marketing campaign behind this, and I suspect that we will learn a lot more at that time, and they might give the game away and tell us why they're doing this.
It's like, okay, well, simulation against sort of, Chinese assets. It's like, well, China's fucking 3,000 miles to the north.
That was actually, that was my first thought when I saw this, but you made the point that that's not where this is happening. Because I had in my head the intercepts between Australia and China, but that's happening in the South China Sea, not here.
It would be like would be like producing a map of Mexico because we want to simulate a war with Canada. That's the kind of, in fact, the distance is even more.
Yeah,
it's crazy. I don't get it. And like, people are saying the argument is like, oh well, it's a big area of land that we can stage any battle you want, and it's like, well, that argument's irrelevant. You could do that in Iraq. As well as having the bonus of, by the way, it's Iraq. There's been 2 major modern wars fought here in the last 20 years.
Yes. Yes, that's true. One thing, once again, steering us somewhat in a positive direction, like an idea that occurs to me, I feel like it's my job. China's been launching a lot of aircraft carriers over the last few years. I guess we could set up aircraft carriers in the sea here and stage some kind of scenario. But I have to say, I very much agree with you, though. I don't really see what this is for.
Yeah, it's like, why are you doing this? Like, just seriously, go spend your time actually doing something useful, because this is pointless.
Yeah.
Like this is just go do something useful. This is pointless, and unfortunately, lots of people will buy it. It's just
so.
Like I say, like, I don't. Like, personally, the developers of Check 6, Check 6, the developers, I wish them no ill. Like, they are, probably all amazing people who are very dedicated and are very, very talented. I question why you're doing this. And,
good luck. Good luck to the team.
Good luck to the team. Good luck to you. I don't prescribe to the, oh well, you have to buy things and support because we're a niche community. It's like, no, that's how you stay a niche community.
Good. A good comment here from Clint S. Hell, even if it was the case where this was a professional client map they decided to snazz up for public release, I wouldn't be as bent about it if they just admitted that. Which is a good point. It's kind of what you were saying.
It's a fair point. It's a fair point. Yeah, like I say, I don't wish anybody ill over it. It's just this feels just like a bit of a symptom of sort of directionless development that DCS has kind of had for the last little while, and it just aggravates me.
Just a little.
Yeah, and it's just, oh dear. But good luck to them. I hope it does well. I hope you do something amazing with it. I have a fundamental issue with its point. Or actually, do you know? If we had all the really important areas of the world that were major relevance to air combat, and then they added this, it would be like, oh, cool. Awesome. So new area to play in. But the point is that we're waiting on the, people have been screaming about a Vietnam map for God knows how long.
Yes, that's true.
Since before the Huey came out.
And that's like just as you were saying that, two people in chat said exactly that. They want a Vietnam map.
The equipment that we've got, we don't have appropriate maps for. Why do we not have a Balkans? Why do we not have a Balkans map? Why don't we have a Baltic area map? Why don't we have all these kind of stuff? And it was like, if those questions, if those things had been done, I'd be less salty about this.
Yeah. Inner Clouds says, I literally couldn't care if a map has a real life scenario associated with it. Chuckles sounds like an old curmudgeon.
Yeah, and that's fine, and I don't care. Like, fucking excuse me for having an opinion,
That's why you're here, because you have an opinion.
Yeah. Like, if you don't care about that, that's fucking great. But there's a whole bunch of us in the community that really likes historical air combat and simulating accuracy. So...
One thing that just occurred to me, with there being a lot of World War II focus these days, was there anything relating to World War II happening here?
So north of Northern Territories and all that kind of stuff, I believe there was a fair bit happening in World War II. So you could make an argument that because if I remember correctly, there was a lot of activity of the Japanese doing stuff there.
Yeah.
So, but then we've got none of the correct aircraft. So
yeah, we don't have a Zero yet.
Yeah.
Oh well,
yeah.
Fair enough. I just thought I'd raise that one in case there was some kind of World War II connection. Bread.
Yeah, no, yeah. Like zero would be the key one. Actually, well, would it? Did they get that far south of zeros? I don't think they did. Anyway.
Oh well, fair enough. But yeah, chat is lighting up with suggestions for other areas they would prefer to have a map in. So that's quite good.
I know this is the point. It's just like
Darwin was attacked in World War II by the Japanese.
That was what was in the back of my head was Darwin. Darwin. Yeah. And it's but I mean, like the thing is if we don't care about setting maps in historically correct or accurate where we can recreate things, you might as well just make a fictional map. You might as well just go and make a fucking battlefield perfectly balanced map. It's like,
I guess, yeah, you could. Hey, thank you very much for the donation, Frantic Stone. That's very kind of you. First Australia, then Tornado, he says. That's the clear development path here.
First Australia, then Tornado.
Yes.
Because we know the tornado's coming.
The tornado's coming. That's what people want to see. Okay. James Ribbo saying that it could be for training. Our
NTTR. We've already got that.
Yes, and the NTTR is very good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Inner Cloud's making the point that Hornet and Australia, of course, go together because the Australians do fly the Hornet. So
he's just being a bit butthurt and rude now because I disagreed with him. But there we go.
That's okay.
That's fine. I'm a big boy. I can handle it. Like I'm literally a big boy. So
Stiggy Wiggy, we need Vietnam now.
Do you know what?
Enough of the desert maps, please.
That's a really good point. That is such a good point. Like,
we've had a lot of deserts.
Sand, like Jesus,
so
like my crack just feels gritty every time I load up DCS in another sand pit. Like, oh look, another desert map.
And Marianus showed us that it can be modelled quite well, although at a hit to frames.
Yeah, Vietnam got soft announced via Twitter by ED. I have heard similar rumors, but I mean,
yes.
Is it? Don't know. They have so that my worry about actually my worry about why we might not have seen a Vietnam map is Marianus. Like, that's got some frame rate issues. Like,
for me, it's not terrible, but it's definitely worse. Here we go. I've got the tweet from Eagle Dynamics. So Eagle Dynamics tweeted, "Everyone, we want Vietnam. Eagle Dynamics, this is what this third party picked for their first map. Vietnam will come at some point." So that's their official response to that. We will get Vietnam.
So I wonder if it's going to use a different technology then for the foliage, because it's going to need a lot of foliage unless you did the Delta, which I believe would be less foliage, but which would be cool.
Welcome to the stream, Yogi, and thank you very much for the thumbs up. Unfortunately, trees kill hardware, says Stiggy Wiggy.
It's very true. It's very true. Many, 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 many polygons.
Yes.
Many polygons.
It's true. It's true. Okay, shall we move on with the newsletter? I'm sure that chat will bring this up the rest of the show anyway. We'll have continued opportunities to talk about the map. But yes, returning to the newsletter, we also have an open beta update this week. So yeah, there's now 2.7.17. The recent open beta update for DCS is now available, and we're pleased to inform you that many fixes and improvements are included, like several fixes to DCS FA-18C Hornet. DCS F-16C Viper has received improved OTAS logic, bombing enhancements, and auto-lays. DCS Mirage F1 has a wealth of new features and fixes, and also they broke the stability augmentation, which might also have explained why I had some troubles flying it. Although I'm also just not very good at flying it. Also included are new voiceovers for DCS Mi-24P Hind. I've heard these. Petrovich now has a voice, and it's actually kind of good. I kind of like it.
Was he totally mute before?
He was totally mute. It was just text messages before.
Yeah, that's right.
And now apparently they've implemented pretty much just as many voice lines as the Apache has for George, so that's quite cool. Also included are new voice... Yeah, sorry, that's what I just said. And many DCS core enhancements. Read the full changelog here. And for World War II aircraft, all cooling component systems have been reviewed and updated. We've added a new boiling physics system that is based on temperature and pressure. This results in natural boiling of these pressurized closed-loop systems. Battle damage boiling can now be caused by dramatic pressure drops from punctures. You can see this as steam effects coming from airframe bullet holes. All warboards except the Spitfire and the BF-109K4 have this update. We kindly await your feedback and plan to update all other warbirds soon. So that's rather impressive. Oh, thank you very much, Yogi. That's very kind of you. Oh, and thank you very much, Channel Right. The donations are coming on. Thank you very much. Clint S, to be fair, Syria sucked frames like a coke fiend at first, and it's a lot better now.
Syria is impressive because, and I think I know why it had to, and you're not wrong, it did kill frames. It had really impressive ground clutter. Like, one of the things I liked about the Syria map was that it felt very alive.
Yes.
And there was lots of variation in places and things like that. You know, yeah, many polys kill frames.
Michael asking, wasn't ED doing an Afghanistan map as well? That's, well, I don't know if it was ED that's doing it, but my understanding is that there is one being made by someone.
Yeah, never been confirmed. There was, so there was a teaser at some point, which was a set of coordinates. And the coordinates was Bagram Air Base.
Yeah.
But it was also directly over a Hercules. So it was whether the teaser... Well, is the teaser talking about Afghanistan, or is the teaser talking about a C-130 mod?
Or both.
Or both.
Yeah, who knows? I think it's... In my opinion, it's unlikely to be the Hercules. Like, I feel like it's more likely it's Afghanistan, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah. So the Herc to be mission effective takes like 4 people. And I know ED said and I forget which interview it was, where they were talking about large multi-crew aircraft, that they said that they weren't going to do it because you know, it's like trying to find enough people to put into that aircraft in multiplayer to make it effective is just like really, really difficult. and try and
it was hard
come
enough
up
to
with
get 2 people for the F-14 or Apache or Gazelle.
Exactly, and trying to do it in single player by hot swapping seats. God, even worse. So, like, I kind of share your opinion on that. It's not a C-130, and that actually it's a teaser. They're talking about the Afghan map. That there's going to be an Afghanistan map, but who knows? Who knows? I mean, like, from first tease to when first unofficial tease to when we got an Apache was years, because stuff got shown off in the forum, God, years and years and years ago.
Same with the F-16.
Same with the F-16. And then it was years and years later. So who knows?
Yeah, true. But Byron in chat says that Afghanistan has been confirmed as coming, but I don't know if we know who's making it and when.
Can the map tech do caves? Probably not. But I mean, you're just talking about, but then you're talking about like just needing to model the
entrance.
The entrance, which could be a 3D like building. So I suppose you could do it. Yeah. You could.
The thing is, we've had those underground bunkers that were placeable since the very beginning of DCS World. Actually, since K50, and those were it was like a teeny tiny hump structure with like an entrance. So there's no reason why you couldn't just do the same thing for caves, but in a different orientation. So yeah, I think that's fine. Should work. And then we've got the announcement about Enigma multiplayer server. The Enigma Cold War server offers you a friendly community of avid DCS virtual pilots that share the passion of creating realistic battlefields. Included is a fully working campaign system that has a moving front line. You may take part in ground attacks to push the front line, or provide combat air patrols. Helicopter pilots are also able to conduct infantry insertions. The server boasts unique mechanics for conducting recon flights. Campaigns generally last 1 to 3 weeks that rotate between DCS Syria and DCS Caucasus. Learn how to play and join Enigma Discord to get involved. So there you go.
Yeah. Although it's funny, I saw the map in the newsletter for the Enigma multiplayer server, and my head immediately went, "Ooh, Dark Knight." Cause
yes.
The map not look like the map. Is it not like the Batman symbol?
That was exactly what I thought at first as well. I don't know if that's intentional or not. Yeah.
No, I don't think it is. I think it's just the way the terrain's worked out. But like my sort of inner Rorschach process kind of went, "Ooh, Batman."
No. Thank you very much, Yogi. I'm glad you enjoyed the video. Yeah, not serious Mirage F1 content yet. I will be working on proper tutorials a little bit later. Okay, so yeah, this week on Wednesday we had the open beta update, and some interesting stuff here. The usual kind of general fixes for DCS World, things about exhaust plumes and stuff like that. That's all cool stuff. A whole load of fixes for the F-18. They do mention fixes to the Harpoon, so I'm going to retest the Harpoon. I've had to have my F-18 series on hold because a number of the guided weapons kind of go into orbit and hang there. Like they're just behaving really, really weird. So I'll retest, see if this has actually fixed anything. But of course, the big ticket item here is the F-16C Viper. And we're seeing a lot of the stuff on the roadmap getting delivered here.
It's just like tons and tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of fixes.
Yes.
And same for the Apache. The Apache has fair amount of fixes there. And so the two big kind of hot ticket modules that are kind of in ED development, yes, okay, I know the Hind, but they're really putting effort into getting things done with them.
Yes, yeah, it seems to be the case. Actually, I should, before we proceed with that list, let me very quickly bring up the roadmap for the F-16, because I feel
going to talk about that.
Yeah, I feel like with this latest edition, we are pretty damn close. So let me see if I can find the original post from our man, Daddy Wags. Here we go. I've got it. So let me first cover the actual update we're getting this time. So, well, actually, added this week. We got the Flickus bit test with full animations, although they say that it's a work in progress and they'll be fiddling with it. I wonder if they've also fixed the JFS timings, because they were a little bit wrong. Added the alternate release button. It's now functional. So if for whatever reason you don't want to press the pickle button on your stick, you can now push the one on the dash. Added sim indications on the HUD. That's kind of cool. Like, I've been very interested in simulation modes, and also I'd really like to see things like the ACMI and the captive sidewinders working properly for training. But hey, that's an aside. Added DTE static page. Considering the sim doesn't have a DTE system at all right now, I don't know what this could possibly show you, but maybe it just shows the information that's currently loaded in the jet. That would be kind of cool.
Is this not the placeholder for that?
Could be. It could be. Why they would implement this before they have the system, though, I don't know. But it might mean that they are actually working on it, which would be really cool. Because
there was a fair amount of pages. There was a fair amount of pages for systems that we didn't have yet. So
yeah, true.
I think that's what it is I think that the system might be being worked on.
That's my hope.
Here's the placeholder.
I've been going on about this for years now. Added the ECM centerline adapter for the ALQ-131. So we've got another ECM pod that we can carry, and it goes on the centerline now. The TGP Attitude Advisory function, AAF, is now implemented. If you've got the TGP up and you roll over too far, I think it's more than 70 degrees of roll, or you pitch too much down or up, put flashing messages up on the TGP, like, please don't crash your jet. Yeah.
Are you sure you wish to do this?
Exactly. Maybe you're paying a little too much attention to the TGP. Try flying the plane, Mr. Pilot. They've added the gas gun purge door animation. This is something I didn't even know about that existed on the real jet, but I've now seen videos of it in action, and it's really cool. And we also have gun barrel rotation, much like a lot of the other modules have. You can actually see the barrels rotating inside the little gun compartment, which is cool. And AOA bracket and VV adjustment. Not too sure. And then further flight model refinements, which is really cool to see. They've been working really hard on the F-16 flight model recently. So let's go and jump to the roadmap, and let's see. I think it's also been recolor coded recently, so we can actually see what has been delivered. So list of delivered features this year. So they started this by saying what they'd already done. Now, of course, all of that is done. Planned features to be delivered by the end of 2021. Unsurprisingly, these are all now coloured green, as delivered, so that's fair enough. And if we go straight to the further development will continue with the following list, many of these are now delivered as well. So let's go through these quickly. At the top of this, we had Lightning II targeting pod. Now, of course, we've had that for quite a while now. Next one is Sniper XR. That's not delivered yet, but that's one of the few items still here not to be delivered. Data transfer cartridge, DTC, and mission planner. This is also not delivered, but ED have stated that this is not purely an F-16 feature. This is something they will deliver for all of the aircraft that support DTC at the same time. And I guess they're going to... Well, there's been word that they're going to make it available in the SDK, so third parties will get it too. ICP modes for cruise, my most favourite page in the DD. Time, fix, ACAL, destination. These have all been delivered. RWR handoff PRF tones, not delivered yet. This is the one where you can hit handoff, listen to just one emitter, and it will actually play non-synthetic tones. It will actually just play the sound that the radar is emitting, basically. And if you're a very, very clever pilot, you'll know exactly what it's doing based on the sound.
And that sounds really cool as well.
It does.
Like, when you actually hear it, it's like that sound F-16 should sound.
Yeah, and like I'm also excited about this because some of the earlier aircraft, like the F5, and I think some of the RWRs, including the F-14A, worked like this all the time. So there were no synthetic tones, you just heard the emitter. So if they're now implementing this, it means that other aircraft might get the functionality.
Yeah.
So
because it was always one of the things that I read about in I forget, it was one of John Nichols' books where he was talking about listening to the Iraqi radar systems and like picking out picking out the Roland or whatever because like, oh, it sounds like this, and
Yes.
and then we get these like kind of generic beeps in our version of RWRs, and it's like, oh, sad.
Yeah.
Want the real thing.
I think for modern aircraft that is mostly realistic, although they do have this handoff mode where you can listen to the genuine tone. So that's not delivered yet. HUD toss anticipation queue is shown as not delivered on this list, but it actually has been delivered. Not in this open beta, but in the previous one. So we just got that. Desired HUD airspeed carrot for cruise mode. We've got that. That's delivered. GBU-24 Paveway 3. We've got it. It's delivered. Remaining bomb modes, DTOS, man, and lad. DTOS being the highest priority. We have DTOS. We have man. The only one we're missing now is lad. And I actually have no clue what LAD mode is. I've never heard of it, never used it.
Is it low angle delivery?
Or low altitude?
Yeah, something
I don't know.
like... Or I'm thinking of, there was something in the Sabre that was like, it was LAD.
Oh yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. That was the kind of over-the-shoulder nuclear delivery thing.
Was it?
And
was
it had a computer that automatically released the bomb as you were coming up and over the shoulder.
I don't think it's that then.
It's not that. So one of these modes is still not delivered yet, but we're pretty close to completion there. Mark 84 Air. I feel like that was delivered, but I can't remember. I think we have the Mark 84. Wing fuel tank pylon jets and correction. That's in this update, so they've just delivered that. ALE 50 towed decoy. Don't have it yet. Flickus bit animations, just delivered on Wednesday. BDU-50 training bomb, done. Jet fuel starter door animations, done. Alternate landing gear handle, not delivered yet, I think. Cockpit view pilot model, not delivered yet. Animated tailhook, not delivered yet. Airshow smoke, delivered. And radar velocity search mode, not delivered. So we really are. We're right down at the end of the deliverables here. We've just about got an absolutely complete F-16 here. So, pretty excited.
Like, I mean, the F-18, is that now, like, because I know there was like 1 or 2 items outstanding on that. Like, is that finished now?
Is that done?
Is that done? Because it feels like the F-16 is, if it's not, and they're still waiting on those couple of, items, it feels like the F-16's catching it up.
Yes. The F-18, I don't know what's still to be delivered there. I feel like the F-18 is not done, but I think the F-18 is very close to completion as well. Like, there can't be many items left on their list. Let me actually just go and jump on here and see if they do in fact have... They don't have a roadmap for the F-18, actually, in the same way that they do for the F-16.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no, I found it. I just found it.
Yeah, there was a list knocking about somewhere.
Yeah, I actually just found it. Here we go. So let me bring this back up. So, there are still some items here. The UFC BU page is not done. I don't even know what that is. Updates to the flight model for ground effect, takeoff, pitch effects, autopilot-based FPM, touch and go handling, and other remaining flight models. Stuff that is still work in progress. Loft modes, ARM, JPF, and other JDAM and JSO remaining functions. This actually, I came up against this. When I did my tutorial video all about the JDAM, there is still a bunch of the really advanced JDAM features that are not implemented. So that's coming. INS GPS full simulation and alignment, carrier and ground, not delivered yet. Mark 77 firebomb, not delivered yet. Gen X decoy, not delivered yet.
Right.
And then I think the am I right in thinking that the ACLS automatic landing mode is that actually no, that is delivered now, isn't it?
Yeah, I thought it was.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think we actually have that. Yeah, ACLS mode's complete. Yeah, it's that's completely delivered.
So that's interesting because the F-18's been out, God, what, 5 years more?
Good question. Well, this post is from 2020. So yeah, I don't know.
It's been out a while. It's been like a good while. And it feels like the F-16 is catching it up.
Yeah.
Like, that's...
Hornet FAQ was posted in 2017 and updated in 2019. So yes, it may well be the case.
It's been a while.
It's been out for quite a while.
And the F-16 is kind of catching it up. That's quite a pace of development.
Oh yes. On saying that, I have to say the avionics of the F-18 are more complex, in my opinion. Like, there is more functionality in an F-18 than there is in an F-16, I think.
True.
Like, it's especially the data link and the HSI and the situational awareness page. There's a lot going on in those systems.
True. I think the F-16 has more quirks though, which is
true. Yeah,
kind of why it's a nicely modeled jet, you know. But yeah, I mean, it's still an impressive pace of development. Is what I'm getting.
It is absolutely.
So,
and we're so close to the end now. They've done a really great job with these two jets, so that's pretty cool. Yeah. And Tiger Moto in chat just confirming there. ACLS was completed a couple of updates.
I thought it was, and I mean, but the thing is this is where, like, you know, like, yes, I have a good old dig at ED sometimes about, you know, certain areas of their development, but the one thing that I've never disparaged or doubted is their subject matter experts and their ability to technically model an aircraft. You know, that's unparalleled. Unparalleled. And you know, the F-16 and the pace of development and the details that they're putting into the F-16 very much demonstrates that this is where they're king. Yeah, it's impressive. It's really impressive, and this was an impressive F-16 patch.
I think I still think that Falcon 4 BMS is very, very, very good, and I think that community should be really, really proud of the product that they've created. But I think the days of me recommending that people fly BMS are coming to an end. Like, we're really basically at the point now where I would say you should be on DCS now.
Yeah. I mean, like, BMS was great. I found, like, it you know, it still felt a lot like you know, late 90s, early 2000s sim, even though they'd done great work to try and bring it up to date. Yeah, which is, you know, which is why I would have sort of recommended, you know, people moving over to the F-16 on DCS a lot, you know, earlier probably than you would. But I think sort of setting that kind of vain cosmetics aside now, you know, if we were just talking about, you know, if you're real, you know, got a hard on for systems and, you know, fidelity modeling, like, I think DCS has got it now, eh?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and that was the thing. That was why I would continue to recommend BMS for quite a while, because the avionics fidelity in BMS was just unparalleled. Like, they had simulated it to the nth degree.
Like, funny enough, Clint S, like, totally valid point. Dynamic campaign, am I a joke to you? Like, yes. You're not wrong, actually.
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
You're not wrong.
Dynamic campaign is still the killer Falcon 4 feature. And for replayability, dynamic campaign is just incredible. It's a game changer.
But then again, I think it kind of depends on what you focus is. If you focus as multiplayer, like, I don't think it's you know, which it is definitely for me and you. Yeah. I don't think the dynamic campaign is the killer app.
That's our replacement. Yeah, we don't need a dynamic campaign because we kind of make our own and we fly with a lot of people. Like, when we're doing a mission night,
we're multiplayer.
Yeah, when we're doing a mission night with the VAF, there's, like, you know, there can be so many of us in the air flying together cooperatively.
But the guys, James Fenton as well, also mentioning it, like, you know, that's not a, you know, it's not a minor thing. The dynamic campaign. No. I mean, an incredible achievement for its time, as well.
Falcon 4 is incredible. It's an excellent product. But yeah, no, the thing is, I'm simply talking about a simulation of the F-16. So, you know, forget about all the scenarios, forget about the dynamic campaign. What is the fidelity of the simulation? And I think the fidelity of the simulation in BMS was better for a very long time. And I think now you're going to be hard pressed to tell the difference. And I would actually kind of err on the side of DCS perhaps being the better simulation.
Yeah. VR support tipping the balance for Clint S. Yeah. True.
Yeah, of course, that's the thing. I think, is there maybe a way of doing VR in BMS? I don't know.
don't think there is. I don't certainly if there is, I not heard of it.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
VR in DCS is amazing.
Yeah. Echo saying, but DCS multiplayer is arguably better than BMS dynamic campaign. Yes, which is kind of what we're saying. But like, whilst I sort of analyze that, I think though that the only reason that DCS multiplayer is better than Falcon 4 dynamic campaign is because people put a lot of effort into the multiplayer servers and the missions, and it takes hours and hours and hours of work to get that.
For sure.
Because just chucking, here's some red jets, here's some blue jets, have at it. Like, no, doesn't matter if it's multiplayer. It's still no good, because like the best multiplayer servers still have a storyline. They still have a tactical realism that means like that makes it feel like the reason why I'm going after this target is important for a bigger picture. And if
absolutely.
you don't have any of that, in a multiplayer server, it's just a dull experience. It's a dull experience, and that's where I think, like, yes, you're not wrong, but it's not all multiplayer is equal, and I think bad multiplayer doesn't beat mediocre dynamic campaign experience. You know what I mean? It's like,
of course,
there's an overlap. There's an overlap.
Byron asks a very interesting question in the chat. Do we know what the next ED, not third party airplane is? I don't think one has been announced.
I don't think we do. No. I don't think we do. Which like comes back to a prediction we made at the end of last year.
That's kind of why I wanted to bring it up.
yeah, because we talked about that, like, or certainly I felt that the Apache was going to be ED's last hurrah for quite a while when it came to modules, and that they would hand off, hand the keys over to third party, and ED would go on about concentrating on its core game, because it's critical that they do, and if they don't, they're really going to have a problem.
Because if we think about the aircraft that are coming out next, F4 is Heatblur, Typhoon is Heatblur, F-15I Strike Eagle is Razbam. What else have we got? MiG-23 is Razbam. The A7 is another third-party developer whose name I now can't remember.
I can't remember. Yeah, which I'm super excited for. The A7 is a little. It's got a little space in my heart, actually, as an aircraft. So I'm excited for that one. But
Kaiwa is that Polychop or is it someone else? I get mixed. It's kind of a conglomerate.
It's now. How does that?
Because Razbam are doing the model, right?
Yeah, there's so many people involved in it.
Yeah. So, but anyway, they're a third party.
Yeah. Like there's like one guy that models everything, because I think the guy who modeled the Kiowa also produced the 3D model for the Eurofighter.
Oh yeah, actually, I think you're right. Yeah, there was something about that.
And he also did stuff for Razbam. Like, it's like there's one guy that does all the modeling, and like I think he did work for Polychop, and he did work for Razbam, and I think he did work for True Grit back when True Grit, it was still True Grit before they joined Heatblur. Like it's like there's one guy with the 3DS license that's really in demand, and he's really good.
Yes,
so, it's fine.
Oh yeah. Oh, BO105 as well. Yes, that's correct. Razbam are doing the modeling on that. Octopus G. Chat is an amazing resource. Thank you very much, Chat.
Isn't it? Like, I wish I had chat in everyday life. When I'm just working away and like.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Chat. You're keeping us accurate here.
Fucking hell! How do I do dynamic easing on this keyframe? Chat, let me know.
Miltech 5 are doing the design for Eurofighter. Mag 5 are doing the F8 and the F4U. It's India Foxed Echo doing the MB399. It's Octopus G doing the SU-17/22. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff coming, but none of it is from Eagle.
Yeah, and that was kind of the prediction that we made at the end of the last year. was that's certainly how I felt, and I think that's how you felt, that
Yeah.
ED's probably not going to announce anything, and that
Or it's going to be a tornado.
Kinda, yeah, or it'll be a tornado. Yeah, they'll turn in and sort of concentrate on the core, and like, I mean, you see stuff that they're doing about the weather, but it's so critical that they do this because, you know, as much as I accused all of us of being rampant Eagle Dynamics simps, you know, there will come a point where that currency will run out.
Yes, that's true.
Because their core is so broken. So they have to address stuff. Like, we were talking about bugs in the core that are older than some of our community members, you know?
Yeah, it's true. Actually, I like Mangash makes a point which I strongly agree with. I anticipate that any module that requires extensive expansion of the SDK will be developed by ED, and I think that's true. I think air to ground radar that came out of the FA-18C. It was first developed for that, and then everybody else got it through the SDK. Multi-crew.
Anything that anything that's going to expand the technology, that's going to come out from ED. Or although
Clint S just mentioned the MiG-29.
variable geometry wings, came from Heatbar.
That's true. That's very true.
They developed that.
Yeah,
they developed that.
They did. But that's an externalized flight model, so they can kind of do what they want.
I suppose. Yeah. K-53 being brought up. That's not happening anymore.
Nothing Russian.
That's going to be a cosmetic. We're touching up the cockpit job.
I also actually, Clint S. quite right mentioning the MiG-29 9.12. Fairly recently, even earlier this year, they brought up just very quickly, like, kind of, we're still working on it. And then, like, no information, just a quick, we're still doing it. But with the current political situation in Russia, I have doubts as to whether we'll ever see that.
So people are talking about Jester and ground radar and like, true. But Jester isn't like a massive expansion of, like, Jester's basically a macro generator.
Yeah.
you know, it's like it's like
got nothing to do with the sim or the SDK.
It's kind of like bolted, kind of using existing AI loops and then effectively generating macros to operate the cockpit. And the ground radar, very true. The JF-17 and I want to say the Viggen.
The Viggen was the first.
Had a ground radar, but it wasn't a true ground radar simulation. It was using like, both of them were basically kind of faking it in a way. That would, like, not quite a graphics filter over a F10 view, but it was kind of along those lines in a way. It wasn't a true ground radar simulation that we kind of have now,
No. Until it was, and the thing is, with the JF-17 at least, I don't know if the Viggen ever switched to using the SDK version. Maybe the Viggen still uses its own, but the JF-17 switched to using the SDK version once it was available. So that effectively that work that what are they called? I've now forgotten their name. The guys who developed Deca. So effectively, that radar simulation that Deca created ended up getting ditched, and they went straight to the Eagle one.
Yeah. So I mean, it's valid points. It's like, I get what you're saying, but it's like, I think they weren't like the true, true simulations that were like, it's sort of part of the SDK and all that kind of stuff. So I think it's a good point that, like, any sort of big, SDK changing things are going to come out of ED. So it kind of begs the question of, well, what is missing? And, what are we missing that could happen?
Because you can forget about everything basically flight model, really, because all of these payware modules use externalized flight models, so they don't need any support from the sim. That's how that Razbam were able to make the Harrier. They didn't need Eagle to add support for VTOL. They just did it. But yeah, when I'm thinking about it, things that come to mind would be things around electronic warfare, communications, data cartridges, mission planning. These are all the kinds of things that ED kind of needs to provide for everyone else to realistically have it in the sim. So I hope these are things that they will focus on in the future. Obviously, like, my number one priority is, of course, DTC. I would love to see that in the sim for all the aircraft that use it. But actually, electronic warfare. Even if we just had something, and I know that it's not something easily done, but even if we had something like command modern operations style stuff, because if you look at the data tables and the database in command modern operations, they have a whole bunch of stuff, and it's really just percentages, but they're percentages based on certain parameters and certain categories, and like there's a simulation going on there. It's just very, very abstract.
I mean, you're right. You can simulate that stuff, but I think you're going to start getting some nervous twitches from people. And these are people that hold important licenses that ED needs.
Yeah, of course. It is a bit dodgy.
Yeah, because I don't think it's necessarily the, simulating, I mean, basically electronic warfare is like, I deny this part of the spectrum. You can simulate that sort of quite easily. Yeah. I think it's sort of like the tactical implications, like in simulating that.
CMO does that. Like in CMO, there is the concept of defensive jamming and offensive jamming, and the ways they can be targeted and used is actually fairly complex, while at the same time it has no specific data about how any particular jammer works. They just kind of abstract what the effects would be, which might be okay. Might be okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big hole. Do you know what? It's a big hole in the simulation electronic warfare.
Oh, for sure.
Because it's so fundamentally important to modern combat. But yeah, I can't see how it's going to be implemented.
Yeah, it's a tough one for sure.
Yeah. But would be cool. No denying.
Clint S says Toad decoys, buddy refueling is on hold until ED redoes their Toad cable physics. Someone, I think Wags, put up a post about that.
I'm seeing a chat from Fighter Jets HQ. Can't wait for longbow data link and fire control radar. Hell yes. Hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's going to be awesome. Game changer.
Jeb asks Kaiwa ? I'll give the same answer that I've given for quite a few weeks now. We've had no further announcements. The last thing we heard was that they're back on track. We don't know anything about dates or state.
Yeah.
But we do know they're working on it.
Like all I know is that it went back in the oven.
Yes.
Which I kind of respect. I kind of respect. There's a lot of people who would say, well, release it anyway and patch it.
Oh.
And I think if the community can remain objective, yeah, cool. But the DCS community is not objective. I'm the very definition of not objective. I see that flaw in myself. CF 30 minutes ago. So I totally respect the fact that they put it back in the oven, because they were like, nah, this is not ready, and we'll release it when it's ready. And I get a feeling that it's not the development's not their day job as well.
That's true. I think certainly at one stage there was only one full-time developer on the team, and then the rest were kind of doing modeling and other stuff. I think it's a pretty small team.
Yeah, so I'm all right with the fact that they've put it back to bed, and it's going to be something that'll fill a nice little niche as well. So yeah, excited. Love to see when it comes. But I think we might be waiting.
It's going to be a while. It'll come when it comes, and I think the subject matter experts that they have are really, really focused on the quality and authenticity. And I'm very happy about that, and I'm happy for it to take as long as it needs to take. And they'll have my money when they've got it ready.
Yeah. Oh gosh, so many interesting things coming from chat. Somebody asking, where is the Corsair now? Which one?
Yes.
Is it the F4 Corsair, or is it the
F8?
The F8 Corsair? Because the F8 I don't think is getting developed. We're getting an A7, which is basically a short, the F8 with the middle cut out, or is the F8 an A7 extended? Can't remember. One of those two way rounds. But yeah, the F4, I don't know. I'm not a massive World War II fan for DCS, so
me neither.
Can't really answer that. People saying what happened to the A6. So I'm gonna confess, the A6 was news to me because I thought it was an AI only.
Yeah.
But apparently not. Apparently the A6 is going to be a thing, which blew my tiny mind because I love the Intruder. Absolutely love the Intruder.
Heatblur said this from the start. They said they were going to deliver it as an AI module, and at a later date, they were going to deliver it as a flyable module.
And the Super Saber was good news. Yes, absolutely, it was the first Sentry jet. Yeah. That's super exciting, and we can do the saber dance now. It's like the safety dance, but less catchy, and ends in your death.
Oh dear. Tiger Moto saying the A4 is planned for after the Eurofighter.
Yeah. But yeah, no, the Super Saber. That's like I was unfortunately I had things I had to attend to when that news got announced, so I wasn't here on stream when it came out. But actually, like that's probably worth talking about a little bit because it's I mean, it was a beast of an aircraft, like an absolute beast. And it looks really sexy. Like a lot of people kind of say the front of it looks a bit weird. I think it looks great. I absolutely love the look of the Super Saber.
It's a very cool aircraft.
Yeah,
4 cannons.
It does have this thing that was called the Saber Dance, that if you can get into the scenario at high AOA, low at the ground, like on landing or takeoff, where you can't get out of it and it starts to wallow, and you're done. Like if you go and Google or look on YouTube for Saber Dance, you'll see a few film examples of how that goes, and it's not pretty. So I really hope that's accurately modeled.
Here's hoping.
Yeah. Any MiG-23/27 news? That's
actually,
is that Razbam?
That's Razbam, and yes, I've got it after we finish going through the open beta update. I do have an update on the MiG-23.
We've kind of well gone off the topic now.
Yes. Well, yeah. In the meantime, shall I finish just checking over what's in the open beta update?
I think we've covered it, but go on.
Yeah, because we've got a bunch of fixes for the Apache, and actually one of the most important things is refining the LODs, because the Apache has been a bit dodgy on performance. And actually, we even right at the very beginning, we had some instances where, in the Harrier at least, when we would fly past an Apache, sometimes we'd get a crash to desktop as it transitioned LOD on our side, not on the Apache's side. I don't know if that was specific to the Harrier, but that bit us a couple of times.
Yeah, like flying in close proximity, like or well, not close, but flying at that LOD change distance.
Yeah,
got a little bit like you just like your frames would just go into the toilet, and like so that's good news that the LODs have been fixed. So
yes. Cool. And then we've got the Mi-24P. We've got the first wave of voiceovers for Petrovich AI. There's a couple of really good videos out there of people demonstrating that. You should go check it out. He sounds quite cool. It's nice to hear him speak. And then just basically some fixes. Is there anything else other than that? It's mostly just a bunch of fixes. Mirage F1 gets a huge update, which is unsurprising. I think Spudknocker, if I remember correctly, does quite a detailed video going through all of this. Unfortunately, though, they've broken the stability augmentation in this update, so the F1 is a bit hard to fly right now.
Okay.
But anyway, a really big update there in the F1, and then a whole load of stuff added to the South Atlantic map. So that was our open beta update for Wednesday. Any game engine news? Not really.
No,
not really.
I don't know what the next big game engine announcement's probably going to be. It's probably going to be weather.
It's probably going to be the weather. That's the thing they've trailed. In other news,
which is a shame, because a few people have called it out in chat already, and apologies for not responding then. But like ATC still being broken and really, really needing some love.
Absolutely. So, you're looking at an image here that was posted by Metal to Mesh, who are the guys who do the modeling for Razbam. F-15...
And they're very good.
They are very good. F-15E Strike Eagle. Nope. F-15I Ram. So apparently, this was confirmed by... what's his name? Is it Ron? The guy, the Razbam guy.
Yeah.
He confirmed that yes, they are intending to deliver not just the F-15E in their module, but also the F-15I Ram. Now there are some. As I understand it, they're kind of the same aircraft, but one of the main things is the cockpits are slightly different, and that's why we're looking at this darker cockpit. This is apparently what the Israeli F-15s look like. So there you go. That's something that's kind of cool, I guess.
Yeah, Metal to Mesh kind of know their stuff.
Yes.
I mean, they've been around. They've been around in the flight sim community for years, haven't they?
Oh yes, a very, very long time.
Like, I want to say, I'm prepared to be wrong, because I frequently am. But I kind of want to say that they were doing stuff in the flight sim way before DCS.
Oh yes, yeah. They were doing stuff in Microsoft Flight Simulator.
That's what I thought. They've got their craft down. Like, they know their stuff. Do it well.
Okay, actually, Tiger Moto here saying Ron confirmed it, but only visual. There's no ECM and other systems differences. So you can make your Strike Eagle look like an Israeli one, which is cool. And also Ron posted images of the MiG-23 MLA. So this is still under development. This is still being they're still developing the 3D model for this one, basically. And this looks kind of cool. It's nice to see they're still working on it.
It's a comedy bad aircraft.
Yeah.
But, God, you gotta love it.
And there were some other images that he posted, which were just zoomed in images of different kind of panel lines and stuff like that on the aircraft.
You gotta love it. You gotta love it. The 23, like, just the look of it, and like, I mean, yeah, it was comedy bad, but you know, like, like, there was some engineering challenges that they solved in really interesting ways with the MiG-23. So from a aviation kind of evolution point of view, just love it to bits. Wouldn't shoot it in the face.
No, I like the detail here on these panels where they also have the lines to make sure the screws are not undone. You got red Sharpie to make sure all your screws are in the correct orientation.
Yeah. Which it's a thing. It's a thing. I mean, the solution for the landing gear is like how it folds up in concertinas. It's like, there we go.
It's a bizarre thing.
Yeah. And the dagger board that pops out the bottom, because it didn't always have that, and then they discovered that it had utterly awful lateral stability. So
yes.
They were like, we need to add something. Let's put a rudder underneath.
Yeah.
We'll have it pop out.
When one rudder is not enough, deploy second rudder.
Yeah. Comedy aircraft. But like, you just, it's like The MiG-23 to me is that scrappy kind of mongrel Heinz 57 dog that's got like a bit of collie and a bit of pug in it, you know. And you're just like, God, you look stupid, but I just want to love you. You know, that's the MiG-23 for me.
Yeah, true.
You know, 100% would give it a biscuit, you know, and call it a good dog.
Oh dear. So yeah, really no further information, just a couple of images, work in progress. So I guess they're still at the stage where they're modeling it. But it's looking good. It's looking good, and you know, be interested to see how it turns out. But of course, first, give us some F-15, please.
I know, like, God knows where they're fitting this into their development. Like, you know, when they're still supporting South Atlantic. You know, they've got the M2000, they've got the Harrier, they've got the I mean, it's like, and you're doing this, like, guys, come on.
Well, they're managing, and I you know, I think those will be different teams, but nonetheless, it's a lot of work. So very cool, very cool. And there were some F-15 videos last week where they were going through the navigational systems, and that was really, really cool to see. So you can see that the avionics is really quite complete, even at this stage, in the F-15. Or at least all the kind of nav-based stuff is looking really, really good. So that's nice.
Yeah. What is chat saying? Jep. Great chat, guys. Lots of info, good info and opinions. Thank you very much, Jep. Like, I can't promise that my opinions are correct or valid, but they are opinions nonetheless.
They're definitely opinions.
Yeah, definitely opinions. Sometimes loud, wrong opinions, but yeah, there we go. Like I say, I have them. What else is it saying? Mangash, the more an aircraft tries to kill you, the more you want to tame it not to. That's very true. That's very true. Byron saying, I think the MB339 will be the next plane to release.
That's probably true.
Yeah, not a bad shout there. Not a bad shout there. And lovely little aircraft as well.
Because they've got a release candidate with ED right now, I know that. So it's in, like, final acceptance.
Yeah, it's a lovely little aircraft. I've always liked the look of it. Like, it's... It ticks a lot of boxes for me. Jep saying F-15 and F-4 this year. My life is complete. I think I've been a bit optimistic there, Jep. I still don't believe the F-15 is going to be this year.
They're adamant that it will be in early access.
Yeah, okay.
We'll see how it goes. But yeah, that would be super cool. So yeah, that's all the news that we have for this week. I wonder, though, is this the time when we should pimp the VAF, sir?
I don't know. Is it? Like,
definitely.
I mean, shall we? Or is it just like, yeah, join the VAF. Thanks very much. See you next week. Bye.
No. I think we can do better than that. Absolutely, we can do better than that. So, the VAF, or the Virtual Air Force, is an online squadron that was founded by myself and dotChuckles here. It's a opt-in milsim kind of online squadron. You can join us as a freelancer and fly whatever you want, whenever you want. Or you can decide to join one of our numbered internal squadrons. We currently have them for the A-10, the Harrier, the F-16, the F-18, the
F-14,
and the Apache.
That's it. Sort of. The Apache. The Apache's on spin up at the moment, but
yes. So you'll find our Discord link in the show notes below. Please go ahead and join. Everybody is welcome. Pimp hand strong. Everybody is welcome. Even if you don't fly with us, you're welcome to come along and just hang out and chat. We spend a lot of time on the Discord talking, and there's all kinds of stuff going on there. We do a training session every Tuesday at 8 p.m. UK time, and we do a mission session every Thursday, again at 8 p.m. UK time, with all kinds of different flying and server takeovers happening in between times as well.
And we've got a fair amount of just, you know, I'm reluctant to say lifestyle stuff. You know, we've got chat about cooking and music and the other games and all sorts of stuff. So it's actually quite a nice place to just sort of hang out and meet sort of fairly like-minded people that you can chat to. So, and it's very, very low pressure, you know.
Yeah.
You just come along and have a chat.
And there, to be honest, there are all kinds of roles as well. You can fly with us. We're always looking for squadron leaders, 2 ICs. We're looking for people who can create missions. We're looking for people who are interested in manning radio. We've got air traffic control and mission commander positions and so on. We're looking at the possibility of supporting people flying community mods in the future. So if you don't have the money or the means to buy all the maps, buy all the planes, then in the future it will be possible to download something like the A4 community mod or the C-130 and come fly with us.
There's been some interesting conversations around, particularly the A4 mod. If that's kind of like effectively a training platform we can use, because one of the things that we've always wanted, in fact, like it was part of the early conception of the VAF, was that we'd love to have a dedicated squadron that was like like an operational conversion squadron, and we were going to do it with the L-39, and we were going to teach people kind of from the ground up how to fly, teach them proper airmanship. But it kind of never really happened because it's a bit of an ask. It's a bit of an ask to say, hey, go and spend lots of bucks on a module that you're only going to use for training. And some people would do it, but not everybody has those means. So, we were looking at the A4 as well, could we use the A4 to do that? Because it's free and it's a very good module. Like very good nice module.
Yeah. I'm intending to do a tutorial series on it at some point. Because it's really quite complete.
Yeah, so a VAF scooter squadron might happen.
We just need people to run it. That's always a limiting factor.
Yeah, just need people to run it, and certainly big interest in finding more people that want to do air traffic control and JTAC roles, because the one thing we have people who very kindly give up their time to do that every now and then, but obviously it's not for everyone, so people that do that are quite rare. But what we've found is that when we have somebody in that role, like, everything is a million times better. The mission is just far more realistic and far more engaging and immersive. So we're really keen to find more people who would fill that role, and even if they never flew or anything like that, but just wanted to come and do air traffic control, we'd love to hear from people like that. So
definitely. Thank you very much, Mitch. I'm glad you found them useful. And Clint S. But A4 Squadron, North America friendly stuff. When? Both on the horizon.
Yeah. Probably the North American stuff. I don't want to speak for the certain person, but that is coming. It is coming. But they have to get themselves set up, and that'll be a little while. But yeah, the North America friendly stuff is coming. We've just got to have the right things in place so that somebody can run that side of things, and keep an eye on stuff in that time zone. And there is somebody that we're hopefully will be taking on that role. But give them a chance.
Yes,
they've got some important stuff to do first.
But in short, please join our Discord. Come out with us, talk to us, and if you want to fly with us, you're very welcome to do so.
Yeah. Milan's saying, if you can control the roll on the A4, you can do it in every other plane. Oh my god, never truer word. That is an aircraft that can knock you unconscious because of its roll rate.
Yeah, it's pretty intense.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so yeah, that was our VAF pimping. Very important. We should do that every week. But that's all the news that we have for this week. I hope you all enjoyed the program. We had a really fun time as always, chatting with you, sharing our opinions, and interacting in the chat. He's been dotChuckles. I've been Deepak. I do a new tutorial video every Saturday at 7:30 or 6:30 p.m. UK time. I get mixed up with my time zones every time. Next week, I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do. Open to suggestions. And those tutorial videos are always followed by the DCS news, which just happens to be this thing, what you're watching now. So thank you very much. If you haven't already, please subscribe like, and comment. It's a really big help to us and to the channel. And we'll see you all next time. Fly safe.